What is the last example? BAPI 4, right? Right. So yesterday we have used this BAPI EMPL com underscore create to upload what? Employee data. Sorry, to upload employee communication data. Okay. Now let's see another BAPI. So if you go to BOR, BAPI decode, business object repository. Yeah. So in the hierarchical tab, right? So under logistics general, right? Under logistics general, yeah. Under logistics basic data, right? We have standard material, right? Logistics general, logistics basic data. Under standard material, we have different. This standard material is what? One of the business object. Okay. So what is the object name here? Standard material. Okay. So in this, if you see, we have one what BAPI function model, BAPI underscore material underscore what save data. It is used for what creating and changing what material master data, creating and changing material master data. Okay, so related to materials, we have many tables now, right? So what are the material tables we have? We have Mara table, okay, material master data, material description, okay, we have material plan data. Like this we have what many tables, material storage data, like this. Okay, what is the T code for creating the materials? mm01. Okay, so let me take this Mara table. Yeah, so what I'll do is, before I use this BAPI, what is the purpose of this BAPI? It is used for creating and changing what material master data. If the material is not available, it is going to create. If the material is already available, it is going to update. So same BAPI function model, it is for what both the purpose, creating and what changing the master data. So if I double click on this, create and change material master data, done. Yeah, so let us use this function one. Before I use this, let me check the number of entries in the material table. So I'll go to SC11. Yeah, we have Mara table, general material data. So in this, number of entries are 18,126. So this table has got 18,126 records. Then let me take material description table, MAKT table, material descriptions. In this table, we are having some 1,77,290. 1,77,290. That's it. So they are the, like this we can make a note of MARC and not MARD also. So what I'll do now is, let me create the material, or let me make a note of MARC also. Material plan data. Okay, plan data for what? Material. I'll go to contents. 28,865. I'll also make a note of MARD. Storage location data for material. 21,995. That. So these are the records in the table. Now let me create the material by using what? MM01. So I'll create a very simple material. I'll go to MM01. Okay. Right. So I got the initial screen. Here I have to give the material number, industry sector, and other fields. I'll give the material number as something 1030 material 1, something, some name, 1030 material 1. I'll give the industry sector as something pharmaceuticals. Material type, I'll give it as raw material. Understood? So 1030 mat 1, and I'll choose, or let me choose what? Samples. Okay. So out of 5 fields, I gave the data for what? 3 fields. I'll press enter. Then it is asking to select the view, one or more views. I want to create a very simple material, so I'll choose what? Basic data 1. Understood? I'll choose basic data 1. Continue. Yeah, in this screen, what are the mandatory fields? Two fields are there. One is description, and another is what? Base unit of measure. So I'll give the description. Let me give it as something. This is material 1030 mat 1. Base unit of measure, I'll give it as something, what? Kilogram. Right, so I'll give something what? Kg. What is that? Kilogram. Done. So in the initial screen, I gave the data for how many fields? Three fields. I pressed enter. It is asking us to select a view. I selected which view? Basic data 1. Then I got this screen. In the basic data 1, I captured what? Some description, and I entered the base unit of measure. Do you have any other mandatory fields here? No. Let me try to save this. Yeah, metal is what? Created. 1030 mat 1 is created. Let me go and check in the tables. In the Mara table, 18, 127. Earlier what? 126. So I got what? 127. What is the metal we created here? 1030 what? Mat 1. So if I execute, yeah, today only. Understood. Samples I give. Material type is what? Samples. Nothing but AEM is the code. And this is pharmaceuticals. Done. Let me check in the other table. So in the Mara table, we have these many number of records. I'll check in MAKT, material description. How much? 220. Earlier what? 219. So here also it got created. So what is the material number? 1030 matter. I mean what? MAKT table. Yeah, it is available here. Okay, done. Now let me go to other table. What is this? MARC. Number of entries are what? 865. Earlier also what? 865. Okay, so it is not inserted in this table because for that material we have not captured any plant data. Since we have not captured the plant data, it is not stored in what? MARC table. Let me go to MART material storage locations. How much? 995. Earlier also what? Same, because we have not captured any storage location. So what you have to understand here, depending on the data I capture, the data will go and sit in what? Respective tables. Am I clear? So I created a simple material with some 5 to 6 fields. Those 5 to 6 fields are part of how many tables? Two tables, Mara and what? MAKT. Okay, let me try to create one more material. 1030 mat 2. I'll give something chemical industry. I'll give something finished product. Right? I'll press enter. I'll choose basic data 1. Okay, let me choose something plant data also. So I'm choosing basic data 1 as well as what? Plant data. Continue. Yeah, it is asking what? Plant details. Okay, so let me give some plant details. Sales organization. I'll choose some sales organization. Let me check with this valid entry or not. Done. So what else? I have to give the description. Na? I'll give the description here. Then base unit of where is what? kg. Right? And what is the other thing I selected? Plant data. Understood? I'll go to what? Plant data. Right? So I'm in the plant data. What are the mandatory fields here? Transportation group itself. So I'll just choose some transportation group. I'll choose 0004 train. Then what else? Loading group is on. Mandatory. I'll choose some loading group. Done. I want to save it. You are not fully maintain the tax classification. So this is also mandatory. I'll just give some no tax. Let me save it. Right, 1030 mat 2 is what? Created. Okay, so what is the difference now? For this material, I captured what? Plant data. Let me go and check the tables quickly. Mara table 128. So one record got inserted. Next, what is the other table? MAKT, material descriptions 221. So here also got inserted. Next, MARC. This is MARC. How much? 866. Earlier is what? 865. Understood? So since I have captured the plant data, it is stored in what? MARC table. Then if I go to material storage locations, 995. Here also 9 because I have not captured any storage location. So what is the overall understanding? Depending on the data I capture in the transactions, data will go and sit in what? One or more tables. Am I clear? Now keeping that in mind, let us try to use this particular BAPI. What is the purpose of this BAPI? It is used for creating and changing material master data. So what I'll do is, as a practice, you put the material data inside what? File. Just like yesterday, we have stored it in what? Some text file. Na? Okay, similarly, put the material data inside what? Text file. What I'll do now is, I'll directly give the material data. Okay, so what are the mandatory parameters here? First one is what? Mandatory parameter. What is this? Header data, like what? BAPI material head. Header segment with what? Control information. So initially what I'll do is, I'll pass the data only for what? Only for what? Mandatory parameters. Let us check whether these parameters are sufficient to create what? A material or not. Okay, so I'll prepare a work area of what type? BAPI material header. This has got how many fields? 19 fields. So I'll provide some data. I'll prepare a work area for this. And anything mandatory here? Yeah, all are what? Optional. And you can see here, do we have any parameter which is talking about commit here? No. Understood. So explicitly we need to save the changes. That is done by calling the function module what? BAPI underscore transaction underscore commit. Then if you see the export section, yeah, it returns the status of the BAPI in the form of structured BAPI return to. Changing nothing is there. Tables, yeah. Whatever is there in the tables is nothing but internal tables. No? So you have to pass the internal rules. All are what? All are optional. So according to the signature of this function model, there is only one mandatory parameter which is of type work area what? BAPI material header. Understood? Header segment with control information. So let us try to prepare it. Executable program. I'll save it in the local object. Right. So I'll prepare the mandatory parameter. What is the first mandatory parameter here? Prepare material header information. So here I'll say prepare material what? Header segment info. I need to create a work area now. So W underscore what? Material header type. What is the type here? BAPI material header. Done. Okay. So now I need to prepare a work area. This work area contains how many fields? 19 fields. Okay, what fields, for what fields you have to set the data? You understood? So yeah, I need to prepare a work area of so and so structure. This structure is having how many fields? 19 fields. So what, for what fields I need to provide the data? Just now we have used the T code MM01. So in MM01, okay, in the initial screen, what are the fields I give? Yes, in the initial screen I gave what? Material, material what? Number. Next, next what? Industry, sector. Next, material type. This is my initial screen. Then when I press enter, I got the second screen where it is asking me to choose a view. I have chosen what view? Basic data one in the first case. Then I got the third screen. Okay. In the third screen, I entered the data for what fields? One is what? Description. Another is what? Something what? Unit of measure. So overall some 5 to 6 fields. Overall some 5 to 6 fields. Okay. Right. So here if you observe this work area has got what? 19 fields. Yeah, you can see what is this? Material number, industry sector, and what? Material type. These first three fields are satisfied. Na? Then what else? I have chosen the entry what? Basic data 1. So if you observe here, what is this? Basic data view, I need to set it to what? X, because it is character of what? 1. Basic underscore view, it is character of what? 1. If you are capturing the plant data, you need to set what? Something this one. Okay. If you are capturing the storage data, I need to set this to what? X. Understood? So out of 19 fields, I'll be using some 3 to 4 fields here. Done. Right? Material, industry sector, and material type. So let me prepare it. So here I'll say W underscore material header hyphen. What is the first field here? Material equal to, yeah, what is the material just now I created 1030 mat 1 and mat 2 na. I'll give what? Mat 3. I'm trying to give a non-existing material. Then W underscore material header hyphen. What is the second field? Industry sector. Character of what? 1. Okay. Character of 1. What is the available industry sector? Something pharmaceuticals, chemical industry, plant engineering, something like that. So I'll go for what? P. P indicates what? Pharmaceuticals. What is the table for material types? For industry sectors? What is the table for industry sectors? Hmm? What is the table where all the industry sectors are configured in SAP? Hmm? T137, I believe. T137. Yes. What is this? Industries for what? Materials. Understood. Whenever we configure an industry, okay, it is going to capture in which table? T137. Okay, so let me just put it for your reference. What is the table? T137. Next, W underscore material letter hyphen. What is the next field here? Material type. So material type, let me give it as something FERT. What is this? Finished product. What is the table for material types? T134. T134 is a table for what? Material types. Understood? So this is T134. Done. So I gave the data for how many fields? 3 fields. Done. Is it clear to everyone? Okay. So no one will tell us to pass the data for so and so fields. Okay. We are just trying to do some R&D kind of thing. We know how MM01 works. Okay. In MM01 for creating a simple material, I need to give this data. Na? I need to give this data. Okay. So out of this data, I gave the data for these 3 fields. Next, I have to choose what? Basic data 1. Then I have to provide what? Description and what? Unit of measure. Do we have description and unit of measure in this? If I double click, only one mandatory parameter is there. Understood? If I double click on this, yeah, do we have that? No, no. All are what? Character of what? One. I don't have what? Description and what? Unit of measure. Is it clear what I'm trying to say? We have only one mandatory parameter. In this mandatory parameter, we have 19 fields. Out of 19 fields, only 3 fields are relevant for our requirement. We don't have what? Description and what? Unit of measure. Means I'll try to create a material without passing this information. Let us see whether this is sufficient to create the material or not. Okay, because I'm going by what? Mandatory parameters. Mandatory parameters. Okay, done. Next, what else? Yeah, it returns what? BAPI read to. So let me receive it. So here I'll say data what? W underscore return type what? BAPI read to. That's all. Huh? Yeah, I'll go to the same call function. What is the function model name? BAPI underscore material underscore save data. BAPI underscore material underscore save data. Done. Header data is equal to what is header data we have prepared? W underscore mat. So this work area is carrying data for how many fields? 3 fields. But for creating a simple material, we require around what? 6 fields. Done. So I'll just remove the rest of the things. All are what optional. I'm interested in the status. Return equal to what? W underscore return. and all these are again optional. I'm removing this. So here I'll say, do we have the parameter anything related to commit? No. So explicitly we have to what? Save it by calling the function model what? BAPI transaction commit. Okay, so I'll call the function model BAPI transaction commit. Yeah, I'll remove this. Done. Yeah, any questions, Sudhir? Ramkrishna, any question? Ask me, don't ask Sudhir. Right? Save it. Check for the syntax. Done. Right? So, what is the approach I'm following? First, we are preparing the data only for what? Mandatory parameters. In that mandatory parameters also, it is expecting data for how many fields? Yes, around 19 fields. Out of 19 fields, I gave the data only for what? 3 fields. Understood? But in MM01, just now we understood, these are the minimum fields required to create what? A simple material. So let's see what issue will happen, what error will come. So when I execute this, oh, I'm sorry. I have to print the status now. Then only I'll get the this format color 3. I'll say what? BAPI execution status. So I'll say right. What is the things we require? Type bar. Type what is this? W underscore return hyphen type. And then what? Message. W underscore return hyphen message. Right? When I execute this, good. I got an error. What is the error I got? No description transfer. It has not created the material. It is saying no description transfer. So if you see MM01 also, we are passing what?